Prof is a fucking terrorist. A fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
Oh my God!
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Can everybody hear me? What up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm not going to do a damn sound check and everything. It's too complicated. I want zero problems tonight. So welcome in. I'm glad to see everybody. Hopefully you hear me. And that's what's up. I want to, first of all, welcome on everybody into the show, especially those lurkers. Hey, stop being weird. Stop being awkward. Join the live chat. Everybody's nice there, so why aren't you? Okay, get there. Be nice to everybody and have fun. All right, that's the point. Guys, we have no agenda for tonight. I just didn't want to miss the opportunity to come on. I've been working on a couple things, and those things are taking time. So I ain't got nothing that I really wanted to present until later. And I thought, hey, I might as well come on and just say hi to everybody, bare minimum. And we might keep it short if no one's too chatty. And I'll also be a gentleman and open up the floor for anyone to come who wants to talk on the screen with me. Open the panel. You all are welcome. Christina, you're welcome. Sweet Dude Shibby, you're welcome. Hey, Jake Brooks, if you're listening, you're welcome. Hey, damn, anybody is welcome. But before we get into chitting and chatting, I'm going to say hello to everybody who I see is here. And also, I want to call your attention to the link that's pinned at the top of the chat. That's our Twitch channel. Okay, so remember on Thursdays, I'm trying to make an effort to do Twitch streams, another low key type of endeavor. So why don't you come on to Twitch? Follow me there if you haven't already. I'd be glad to see you all on Thursday. So will not be here tomorrow. I'm going to take the day off tomorrow, which is Wednesday, for those of you who are live here. And then I'll be back on Twitch on Thursday. So everybody come join me there. It's really nice. And I have a few open invitations. We'll see who shows up on Thursday. So all of you are invited. And anyone else interested, send me an email. All right. So let me back it on up. See who we got in here first. Remember, Becky B33 was here early, super early, and I want to thank her for that. Thanks, Becky. Good to see you. Good to see Dieter super early. Hey, Dieter. You feeling better? What's up? Lisa is here. Deb's here. Hey, Deb. Miss Pie Crust. Hello. Hello, Pie Crust. Brenda Mays. Hey, Brenda. Critter Mama. Hey, Critter Mama. Who we got here? Quadaxel Mimi. What up, Quadaxel? Brenda. Granny D's coming in. Hey, Granny. Who else we got here? Carla Ann. What up, Carla? Deb. Molly's here. What up, Molly? Carla Ann saying hello to everybody. Thank you for the love. All right. Matt here. What's up, Matt? What's up, Christina? What's up, Goddess? Hey, Goddess. Come on in, trolls. All right. All right. Giuseppe, welcome. Pam, welcome. Goddess. Sweet Dude Shibby stumbling on in. What's up, Sweet Dude Shibby? Heavy Metal Rehab. Hello. And Shibby says hello, Deb. Snoop Sleuth, what's up? Welcome on in. Thank you for showing up. Snoop Sleuth, Pie Crush, Sweet Dude Shibby Dieter, Critter Mama. Who else we up in here? Pertinent. Welcome. Court of Public Opinion. Cheers, sir. Welcome, my esteemed colleague, Court of Public Opinion. We're keeping our eye on things in Indiana and our finger on the pulse. All right. Whoa, who else? Big JD. What up, Big JD? Big JD, you didn't email me. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What's wrong with you, girl? Okay, we got Hooser Daddy. Welcome in, Hooser. What up, Digital? Proudly blocked by Cuckus Rocks. Okay, anyway, I know there are plenty more watching because I can see the numbers up on the screen. Hey, Paula. What up, Paula? But to all the lurkers, hey, Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen's coming in. Hey, Gretchen. To all the lurkers, come on and join the chat. You stop being weirdos. That's something I want to talk about tonight until somebody grows the balls to click the chat and come talk. I wanted to talk about some things. I had a talk today with someone that, kind of reminded me of several things that we forget to talk about. Because as I've said before, I don't like repeating myself at all ever. You know, first of all, I have a young child, so that's a lot of repetition, obviously. So repeated myself my whole life to a bunch of kids, and I just don't want to keep repeating myself. But unfortunately, we have to. Okay, on this platform, it's like you have to endlessly repeat yourself because people just don't get it. People just don't get it unless you constantly hammer into their skulls uh, what what the points you're trying to get across are. So that is what it is. But what can I do about that? Nothing. I can either give up or keep repeating. So I guess I'm forced into compliance and I'll have to keep repeating. What else? What else? I got a little chocolate here if I get hungry. I'm not hungry now. I'm going to put the link up. But before I do that, hey, I want to plug my GoFundMe here. There it is. There it is, my GoFundMe there. Okay. Let's see. All right. For those of you interested in supporting the channel, we got so many pathways. There's absolutely no excuse for not easily clicking something. So we got the GoFundMe, donate to Proust Podcast True Crime News. There's reasons for that. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Um, no, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not invited because I've been made a non-person by the Mean Girls. And you know, here's the thing, when when both sides make you a non-person, constantly harass you, and try to discredit you at every turn, including the doxing, the using of your children and your family members, and all of the above, you got to ask, what is it that's so infuriating about one such that both sides would be trying to take him down? And so, hey, it's just been a constant thing. And let me see, the meanest of the mean girls, and by that I mean, the men, quote unquote, the mean girls with male anatomy. They've been on a they've been on a little tear lately. They get a little butthurt. They really don't like Amy G over at Daisy Asks. Uh, I got to tell you this. Using terms like veiled guilter to describe me and Daisy, or should I say Amy G and Erica Morris, that's a really odd thing. Anyone who knows me would know that to say that I'm a state actor or a veiled guilter is about the most preposterous thing one could say. And it's just so funny that the meanest of the mean girls who happen to have male anatomy, those are the ones who are hyper fixated on pointing the finger at a few of us, claiming that we are veiled guilter state actors. Well, when they surely are aware that they are indeed state actors and trying to ensure that the appeal for Richard Allen is sabotage and the conviction sticks. And let's not kid ourselves. That's exactly what they're doing. Okay. It's called the state of Indiana hired a PR campaign to ensure that this all sticks. And if you don't believe that, that's okay. You don't have to believe it. It's reality. I mean, where else do you have so many gang members / computer programmers who are proficient in utilization of AI and hacking, and sextortionists, meaning half cute girls who are mostly over the fucking hill or have hit the wall and are still whoring themselves out to try to come and sextort those of us on this side trying to speak some sense in the community, like Rick Snay, like myself, like a few others who I'm not going to name. But yeah, the sextortionist, former strippers, current strippers, sex traffickers, child traffickers, handlers, madams, hackers, computer programmers, lawyers, mean girls, PR agents, and all of the above, you gotta ask yourself, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I mean, my guy, dude, what the fuck ever has happened in this case that all of that is deemed necessary? I don't know. Can't maybe explain it to you all, but now let's see. I saw a nice little comment I wanted to put up here. Oleg Cat, welcome. Okay, I'm just looking here. Big JD wants a tongue lashing. Tisk, tisk, tisk. You keep doing the wrong things, Big JD. All right, what's up, Christina? All right. All right. Oh, so I need to do something else, apparently. Let's see. I need to hit this. What up, Moonbeam 70s child? All right. I see you guys coming in. Thanks for coming in. There's your link if you want to join and have a chat with me. I may keep you in the backstage for a moment while I'll say a little something. So basically today, this is kind of the thing we were discussing. What's up, Author Claremont? All right. What's up, Author? The rage, right? So, like, let's not kid ourselves. This whole thing that we discuss when it comes to Delphi. It's important to keep in mind that this is a double child homicide. Okay. Now we're not saying like the entire crew who hates us all. We're not agreeing that this happened at the same time. Both these homicides happened at the same time. We're also not saying it happened in the way that the state and Gray Hughes alleges. I think that's the first, or that's the first point that has caused such division, right? That we refuse to concede that this homicide happened the way that they say, and they, I mean the prosecution of Richard Allen. We refuse to concede that that's the way it happened. We refuse to concede that these murders happened simultaneously. We refuse to concede that those bodies were there when they say they were. We refuse to concede that the family is above criticism. We refuse to concede that none of the probable POIs over these years need to be discussed anymore. So you see where I'm going with this? Like the restrictions on speech by both these sides is absolutely insanity. I mean, when you're being censored by both sides for those points that I just listed and many, many more, it causes one to wonder, are we actually looking at a uniparty? And I think it does. I think it means that we're looking at a uniparty. It means we're looking at a unified group of individuals whose talking points are all the same, except it's left versus right, so to speak. Uh, and that's a difficulty. And the reason I bring all that up is because, you know, to kind of come back around and remind ourselves that we are discussing a double child homicide that occurred 8 years ago and that we believe remains unsolved, and that there is an individual sitting in prison who is or was wrongfully convicted. What we hope for is that an appeal is successful and either totally exonerates this gentleman, or B, entitles him to a new trial in which a fair trial would be had, one which an actual defense would be allowed with actual good attorneys in charge of the whole thing, with a judge who is unbiased and does not exhibit all this impropriety, along with a prosecutor who does not, who should have recused himself in the first place due to his relation to the family. It's just been a total miscarriage of justice, a total travesty. It was allowed or actually encouraged to become a circus, and here we are. I'll say it like the wonderful song that goes, "Stuck in the middle with you." You know, here I am, stuck in the middle with you, all of us together here on this channel, and we've been down for quite a while. You know, some of you came in during trial. Some of you came in when I first came in 3 years ago. Some of you came in the interim. Regardless of when you came in, we're clearly all here together, looking to the left, looking to the right, saying, what in the fuck is going on here? Now, another aspect of this, these individuals are spread throughout the country, and it's absolutely mind-boggling because we look at the pivotal individuals involved in this, and like I said, you have a handful of attorneys, and I'm not going to name them yet, but I think everyone should know the majority of them. Now, there are a couple behind the scenes who I have not named for you yet, but trust me, I got two that I've identified. In Indiana, yeah, I'm not going to name their locations, but they're close enough to Indianapolis. We got two attorneys who think they are hidden, but we have identified. And trust me, I'll be making a post about that soon enough. And then we got the two high-ranking appellate attorneys who have come in to try to take hold of this defense contingent, which should be an alarming aspect of this when you go and you see their speech and their theories. And then, of course, we have the entire state apparatus that we've all known since before trial. And they've done their best to maintain a stranglehold on this. And I guess my point being that you've got all these other pivotal individuals on the internet that I named before, from sextortionists to madams to handlers to computer whizzes and all of the above, and they're all spread out, and it's absolutely mind-bending because you think of these locales. Okay, I'm going to name for you some locales. New York City, Los Angeles, California, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Orlando, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, Indianapolis, Indiana. What do all of these people in all of these locales have to do with maintaining a stranglehold over the narrative of this double homicide? And need I say, Arizona. Well, yeah, I actually got a one or two in Michigan, like I said, and then you got in Alaska. I mean, it's I could go on, but these are not. We're not talking here about rando viewers like you lovelies in the chat. Okay, you lovely people in the chat, you're rando ass viewers. Some of you are longtime followers, but you're basically viewers. You're not creators. You're not hacking people involved in this case. You're not in constant communication with all the attorneys. You're not colluding to harass and dox independent voices and discredit them. You're not leaking discovery, which puts Richard Allen's future at risk. You're just viewers. And so makes you wonder, what the hell is going on when we've got all of these people in pivotal positions all spread out around the countries in very particular towns. I mean, if I'd take a poll right now, I would guarantee you probably none of you are in any of those towns I mentioned. Some of you may be in the countryside in Ohio, I don't know, or maybe you're in Kansas, or I don't know, maybe you're in Arizona in some little town, or I don't know, you could be in Illinois somewhere. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy. But you know, if you're thinking about something like drug trafficking, sex trafficking, child trafficking, pretty much you would be in nexus type of towns, right? You'd be in towns where there's a whole pipeline for your economic pipelining and lifeblood. And so, I don't know, it's the way I'm looking at it. Anyway, I say all of that to say this. I am reminded that yes, this is a simple double child homicide that occurred 8 years ago. Yet, you have all of this complication. You have all of this rage. I mean, absolute insanity. Does anyone find anything strange about that? I mean, think about it. 2 teenagers, girls, found murdered in the woods 8 years ago. And this very week, there's absolute insanity on the internet about it. Death threats, shit coming to people's houses in mailboxes, constant posting all over the internet, shit talking, discrediting, hate, entrapment, sextortion, death threats. No one find anything odd about that? I mean, and you start pulling on threads, right? You start pulling on threads and you start finding all of these connections to law enforcement, to PR companies, to the three-letter agencies. But sure, I'm just making it up. All of these high-profile lawyers, it's something else. Why all of this? It's I constantly come back to that. If this was nothing, okay? If this was nothing, if this didn't lead to some kind of cult or some type of trafficking or some type of politicians or judges and all of the above, if this didn't lead to something bigger, then why would there be all of this? I mean, you have to use Occam's razor here. The only conclusion you can come to is that this leads to something bigger. That's the only thing that would demand this sort of insanity. Let's see. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, Moonbeam. Like, we got people in Arizona threatened, in California threatened, in Illinois threatened, in Colorado threatened, in Indiana threatened. No one sees anything wrong with that. And that's what I thought, or I spoke about today, is that of all of the crimes that happen all of the time, for instance, let me do just a little, let's see. You've got thousands of children and teenagers murdered all the time, every day. Every day. Now look back 8 years. Every day for the past 8 years, you've had young kids murdered. Do you see all of this for all of those thousands of kids? Thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of kids murdered since 2017. Do you see all of this for any of those kids? I mean, it should be a wake-up call to everyone. I would even guess that all of the cases that you've seen similar to this insanity, like Summer Wells, Jean-Benet Ramsey, and all of the other similar cases where you have this type of insanity, Memphis 3, West Memphis 3, I would bet that all of those cases are tied to some type of child trafficking cult or something like that. Because I would assume that anytime you see this on a case, that case is really important because it opens the door into this universe, and that door needs to remain sealed. Therefore, they send out dozens and dozens and dozens of chaos agents to make sure that door stays tightly shut. So you got to wonder, if it's like that with all those others, this must be the case with Delphi. And that is Occam's razor. So, if I start thinking of context or subjects like that, first thing I think of is money. Yeah? You understand? Think about it. Who can afford to traffic children or drugs? Can you? Can somebody working a average Joe job afford that shit? No. No question, though. Could judges? Could senators? Could congressmen? Could very, very wealthy businessmen? You know, if you've got to be throwing all this money around all the time, you've got to have it to throw around. Which kind of all comes together, and it all adds up. Because if we're saying these people are behaving as if this leads straight to some really important men and women, judges, sheriffs, businessmen, politicians, kind of all makes sense, right? Because those very people would be the people who could afford to be engaged in this sort of thing. They could also afford to have agents sent out into the social media sphere, because let's be honest here, social media is your new media. The fucking old mainstream media is a dinosaur. It's controlled opposition, if you want to call it that. They all got talking points printed out. There's no free press. This is the free press. This is your media. So they send out people to where it matters. They don't have to worry about mainstream media going against this narrative, but they got to worry about this media. So this is where you find the rats. And I swear, you go to any case that has this environment around it, you're going to find child victims and questions that seem to indicate something upstream, like powerful people. And this is what I'm sitting here thinking. And it was what I talked about earlier today is, what the hell's going on here? That we've got to endure all of this for such a lengthy period of time. Remember that during trial, the sheriff's department and the police department and the judge's own court allowed several individuals to be outside and inside of the courtroom who had been threatening to kill Richard Allen and his attorneys. Does anyone remember that? Or is it just that I'm in Goofyville? Am I in La La Land and no one understands what I'm saying? Do you not remember that during trial there were several individuals who had been threatening to kill Richard Allen and his attorneys? There had been a certain YouTuber who has repeatedly announced that there are hits out on Richard Allen. He was there carrying a firearm and allowed to be on courthouse property with that firearm when they were actively announcing a hit on Richard Allen, whether he's found guilty or innocent. And there was someone else actively threatening to kill Richard Allen, announcing a hit on Richard Allen and his attorneys, whether he's found guilty or innocent. No one sees that. And it wasn't by chance, but it was encouraged and allowed. The judge allowed it, the sheriff allowed it, and the police chief allowed it. They actually wanted it. Remember, one of those individuals had an active warrant and was allowed. They said, oh, well, don't worry, we're not going to arrest you as long as you're here to cover the trial and intimidate and threaten to kill everybody. And then we'll just make it go away, and then we'll delay that shit about another 6 months or a year. Just happens to be the same individual who's threatened to kill damn near about everybody in this case who's ever spoke up with a little half sense of honesty and decency. Someone also making deep fakes about everyone involved in this. But yeah, no one seems to see the reality that we're dealing with. And that's what I am coming back to, is why. It's still 2 kids who were murdered. And 8 years later, it's this level of insanity. And in the meantime, you've had people on both sides constantly leaking discovery, which has a cumulative negative effect on Richard Allen's future in case he has to face another trial. And not only is it ignored, but it's encouraged. And some of you all, you actually go support the channels and watch the channels that are the central part of leaking this shit. Their hands are in the cookie jar. It's the definition of insanity. And this is how it works, you see. The motorcycle gangs, they are the arm of the prison gangs, who are the arm of the powerful people. So what you end up having is the foot soldiers of the power players who are out here doing all this, the ones who are obvious, the ones we can see and put our finger on. They're the foot soldiers. They're the bikers, the club members, the gang members, the relatives of the gangs, the old ladies of the gangs. You got the Aryan Nation in the prisons threatening to kill everybody involved in whistleblowing on this case. And you know that the powerful people are sitting with their feet kicked up, smoking big, long cigars, basking in satisfaction that this is all taking place. And I've called out repeatedly, I've done several shows where I say, where's the RICO? Where's the RICO on this? Remember, the questions on this started the day that it all happened. from day one is the way I like to say it. Okay. The anomaly started from day one. They're clearly documented over all these years. Every anomaly has been pretty clearly fucking documented. With all of these red flags, including the trial of Richard Allen and all of those red flags, like if you have not realized the number of red flags that popped off in this trial, you need to go back, read the coverage, read the transcripts, give it some critical thought, and use your memory of everything that had transpired all the years prior to trial. Like I say, they did all of this out in the open. Where's the fucking RICO? Do we have an FBI? Remember, they put Richard Allen in Westville to be tortured. They allowed him to be tortured. They encouraged him being tortured. They force medicated him while he was under torturing. It's like essentially they waterboarded him as if he was at Guantanamo Bay. And when he got to the point where he was screaming mercy, they used those confessions they had coerced out of him with threats to kill his wife, threats to kill his mother, threats to kill his daughter, and threats to kill him. With all that pressure, they extracted these quote unquote confessions. Then they were allowed to use it in trial. I mean, you've almost got to wonder if the feds don't want this to go down this way. It's like, you guys want this? Do you guys really want this? It kind of looks like you want this because it's so out in the open. It's absolutely obvious. Every part of this is obvious. You've allowed people to die behind this case. You, FBI, federal government. You've allowed people to die in the wake of the Delphi murders. If there's ever a time to rebuild some sort of confidence in law enforcement, here's your chance. Basically, you have a double whammy here. You have the ability to increase public confidence in local law enforcement by cleaning house in Carroll County and Indiana in general. And you have the opportunity to increase confidence in federal law enforcement by being the heroes here and taking care of it. Bring the RICO, clean house. Can you imagine the massive political win this would be for anyone who had the gonads to rain down hell on Indiana over this case, and Flora, and Ferenczi, and Fortson, and who knows who else? This would be the most massive political win, and it would simultaneously increase public confidence in local and federal law enforcement. Don't you want that? I mean, because I do watch the public commentary You know, if you go around and you sneak, now you can't go to the controlled platforms. You can't go in the Reddit groups that are ruled with an iron fist and that are all botted up. You can't go in Facebook that's ruled by Becky Patty and her associates. But you go to random news articles or random news videos that are not controlled on channels by these people. And you're going to see public sentiment. You're going to get somewhat of an idea of public sentiment. And let me tell you, public sentiment is not very good on this case. I mean, they get ratioed every time. Every single time it's something important, you go read those comments. I would say generously 85%, they don't want this to stand. They don't go along with this. They're not down with the program. It's only that 10, 15% that are bloodthirsty. They just want someone to pay, and Richard Allen's good enough. And even though those fucktards, they know that Indiana contingent of law enforcement that has pulled this off is corrupt. And this is not hyperbole. They are corrupt. Like, am I lying or am I telling the truth? Like, these people are corrupt. The ones who've done it. Now, they're good cops in Indiana. But the ones who've done this, they are corrupt. And by the way, where's Robert Ives? What kind of fucking piece of shit pussy would turn his back on those girls the way Robert Ives did? More than once. Where's your balls, Robert Ives? Because see, Robert Ives did to me what Doug Carter did to me. I had confidence in him at first. And I said, you know, he said some interesting thing, non-secular signs at the crime scene. You could be solved if it was 1970s or whatever. But then you step away from this shit, leaving it unsolved, when you probably know what happened. And then comes time for trial, and you're called to come to bat for Abby and Libby. And what did you do? You pussied out. You pussied out, man. You truly played the most bitch move I've ever seen anyone play around the murders of two kids. You pussied out. I object to being subpoenaed for court to give vital testimony because it's state product or something. What was it? What was the excuse again? Which means, Mr. Ives, you're covering for those murders too, bro. So are you scared of the killers? So you pussying out? Or are you okay what they did? So you're pussying out. Okay. I want to say thank you to It's a New Day. Boom. What's up, It's a New Day? Thank you. And I miss you. Sorry I haven't talked to you in a long time. I want to talk to you real soon. Keep speaking truth, Prof. BGPO. Hi, Mr. Prof. Well, hi, hello, Miss BGPO. Good to see you. Hey, Jake Brooks is in here. America's better than this. We all see this evil. What happened to our Constitution? I mean, look, I'm not over here throwing this Constitution around for political ends. But it's a valid question. What happened to our Constitution? How can they take a man off the street, out of his house, wherever you want to call it, like they could do it, any of you? They can pull you off the street, put you in the worst prison in your state, to be tortured and abused in solitary confinement for years, force drug you, deprive you of sleep, food, sanity, quiet, darkness, all the things they can deprive you of, till you have a literal psychotic break. And in your psychosis, which is an extended psychosis, they can entrap you by having some sextortionist, insane, evil nurse cunt come to you, show you her cleavage, rub your leg gently, and tell you it's going to be okay if you just tell her certain things. And then she pulls the shit out of you and she runs right back with it to use to convict you when there's no other evidence that you had any involvement whatsoever at all in this crime. Zero evidence. And that's called, we are a republic that's constitutional? Hello. Maybe I'm living in the Twilight Zone. I don't know.
Bruh.
Yeah, I agree. It should all be thrown out. I mean, what kind of fucking situation is this? Like I said to a friend the other day, this, see, it's not supposed to be done like this by any means necessary. By any means necessary. We'll get witnesses to lie. We'll destroy evidence. We'll get cops to lie. We'll drug, torture, medicate, sextort. We will have family members lie. All the witnesses lie. We'll destroy mountains of evidence. We'll kill a guy who would know better. And we will force this conviction by any means necessary. And that's our country. Remember, this isn't a civil proceeding. You know, this is not suing Richard Allen for $1 million and doing this. This was double homicide of 2 kids, which endangers him of being murdered in prison. You do realize that, don't you? And this could have very well been a death penalty case. So I guess what I'm getting at is, so they're allowed, with, what do you call the immense power of the state, they're allowed to do this to any civilian, any citizen. Sorry about that. They're allowed to do this. This is allowed to stand. And I mean, we've gone over absolutely every angle of this, every screenshot, everything, the Josh Link this, and the Cheyenne Mills this, and the Shelby Hicks this, and the Mike Patty this, and the Kelsey deleting shit off the victim's phone this, you know, and the hacking of Keegan Klein that, and the lies about who went where with what family member here, this and there, and then every single thing we've looked at and pointed out to the world. on these public platforms, and still this was allowed. So how can it be allowed to stand? Like I said, where's the bar? Like, would it be better if everyone you suspected of a crime this happened to, so that they would be found guilty and their lives would end up destroyed and ruined? Or would it be better that every once in a while somebody guilty goes free? Because if your bar is high, every once in a while someone guilty is going to walk. But at least it's going to ensure that fewer people who are truly innocent don't end up convicted of crimes they didn't commit. So you mean in Indiana, we lower this bar to 6 inches so that just with the assumption that he killed the girls, he can be convicted and taken away for life? That's what's really bothersome to me about this whole thing, because it's absolutely clear this is a wrongful conviction. And I find it really hard to believe that anyone could think that this was a just conviction, that a high bar was set and that high bar was reached, and beyond a reasonable doubt, he is absolutely guilty because there was enough evidence to absolutely prove that he is the killer and he is absolutely guilty and he needs to pay. You know, no one believes that. No one can truly believe that. If someone believes that, they're truly deluded. Like they have to have this bloodthirst that's beyond reason, that they just want someone to hang for this. And that's what really disturbs me about it all. It's like, it should have been proven that he committed those crimes, and it was not proven. And I still wonder, where was the defense? Where was the defense? What kind of defense was this? Defense daddies. Yeah. I'm sure they each earned enough to buy another $500,000 house. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I said on my money called Show Me the, my show I titled Show Me the Money not too long ago. It was like the money just flowed. Everybody made out on this. Okay. Everybody made out on this except the Allens. Prosecutor made banging bucks. The families made banging bucks. The defense attorneys made banging bucks. All the cops made bucks. Everybody has been paid handsomely in all of this. Every single expert, everybody made out on this except Richard Allen and his family. I feel like people tend to forget that. And I think we shouldn't forget it, because remember, money makes the world go round, right? The Patties were, they had their sights on building a ballpark immediately. By the time a year had passed, this whole ballpark thing was completely fucking laid out. Let me ask you, if that was your baby girl, would you be thinking of creating a fucking ballpark during that first year of mourning? Would that be the thing that you're hyper focused on in the first 6 months? Oh, we got to build a ballpark. We got to make some millions of dollars. We got to put this all together. We got to get the plans drawn up. We got to get the accounting together. We got to form the LLC. We got to put this all together. We got to apply for the grants. Is that what your family would be doing if that was your daughter? Before a year had even passed. I mean, just saying, red flags. And like I said, everybody made out on this shit. Everybody. Max Baker, Matt Hoffman, you know, Rozzy, Baldwin, Auger, Stacey Eldridge, all the other experts, right? Nick McClellan, Mullins, Shane Evans. Remember Shane Evans in that prosecutor's office? Shane Evans, Judge Gall, Jody Williams. Everybody's on the fucking paycheck. Everybody made out. Shit, the infrastructure made out too. You know, if you go out there, it's all fresh, it's all new. So think of the dollar signs that flowed into that trail after those brutal murders, right? They did a whole paving, whole resurfacing of the whole system, right? They destroyed half the bridge, rebuilt the half back, or it's a third of it, whatever you want to fucking call it. They did all this construction, right? Beautification, signage. Every one of those things was dollar signs ticking by. And the dollar signs continue to this day. Go look up the amount of revenue per prisoner per day and do the math. Seriously. I know some of you geniuses in the chat, you might have it in your brain already. Like, I've already done the math, but I don't have it memorized. But seriously. Per prisoner per day, time number of prisoners. Start to get your mind around the multi-million-dollar scheme in housing these individuals who they willy-nilly prosecute. I mean, because honestly, y'all, as this thing has gone by, all I see is dollar signs. Whether you're talking about the McCains, the Patties, the prosecutor's office, the politicians, the defense attorneys, now the appellate attorneys. dollar signs. And as that whole cash cow keeps spinning, you got a handful of people out here. Well, I mean, there's hundreds of you. Okay, there's hundreds of you out here. But as far as people who are on these platforms, you got a handful of us. We're trying to tell the truth, trying to go by through this step by step, trying to just sincerely and genuinely address the thing that we're facing. And there's just constant attempts to kick the legs out from under us, whether striking our channel, instilling fear in us, intimidation, just a general state of anxiety, take away your funding. You know, like these things, it requires a certain amount of sustainment to keep engaging in this with this level of intensity. And you know, if they're not trying to take away 100 viewers from you, so that's that much less support you get. They're trying to take your channel down so you have no way to speak to your audience. They're trying to call the cops on you with false reports to try to get you arrested on something. Have you encountered the police in a negative manner? It's a constant war out here for the handful of people who are trying to tell their truth, you know, or at least interact with their chat or the public here in a way that's somewhat genuine and sincere and not intentionally misleading. And we put ourselves at great risk for this, you know. So it's like you look at the size of the monstrosity you're fighting against. It's enormous. It's an enormous monstrosity that you're facing. And you feel this small. You feel as small as the actual people who were sitting in court said Bridge Guy was behind those girls. But yeah, we're all going to forget about that. We're going to forget about all the fucking deep fakes and the fake shit and the AI and just a moment, please. I need to cough. Whoops. Okay, apologize for that. And anyway, I guess what I feel is that I keep coming back to the people who were known to be out there that few days. And it's a lot of people. You know, every time I start to think about the case, I constantly come back to this extremely large group of tight knit people. I mean, that place was basically a buzz. If you consider the 12th, 13th, and 14th, okay, I want you guys to bring yourselves back in your mind and try to bring up your memories of this entire discussion for all of these years. And think about all that has been said and what is known about February 12th, 13th, and 14th of 2017. And you think of the dozens upon dozens of people who were out there. That place was a buzz with dozens and dozens and dozens of people. No one sense anything off about that? And everybody's keeping secrets. What are the secrets? um, I've said like many, many times, right? Many, many, many times. I've done this thing where I say, you know what? Shame on you, Delphi. Shame on you. Because I'm absolutely confident that there were people from Delphi who absolutely know what happened. Because, you know, it's impossible to keep a secret in a small town like that. You know, there are people who know what happened. And those people choose to keep secrets and protect the murderers of two young girls like this and allow all of this chaos and negative attention on their community. And they're okay with trying to use this arrest of Richard Allen to bury the case. Because I'm absolutely confident the whole theory, the whole strategy behind this arrest of Richard Allen had absolutely nothing to do with winning an election. Okay. I think that's a rumor that's been put out there to distract from what would actually matter. Okay. Because elections happen all the time. People win elections. This ain't about a winning an election. This is about maintaining control over an investigation so that you can ensure that it's covered up for eternity, that it's buried. This is a bury job. The arrest of Richard Allen was intended to put this case to rest permanently. And they were willing to be obvious about it. That's how desperately they wanted to put this away. What they didn't anticipate there would be some soldiers out here that would not be intimidated into silence, which is what they got instead. So now they have a problem on their hands because people ain't accepting this shit. And like my man Jake Brooks said, this can't be allowed to stand. It can't be allowed to stand. So they may have shot themselves in the foot, you know, trying to do it this way. It was a bad move. But I guess there was no other move to be made, because if that election would have been lost to someone that they didn't have control over, that person could have dug up and put the wheels in motion to unfold the actual truth. And that could never be allowed. So they were forced to attempt to clinch this election so that they could maintain control. And then, therefore, they were obligated to go through with it. And they thought this whole time, remember, the troll farm accidentally disclosed to us the intention was to force a plea deal. The intention was never that this go to trial. Like, if you think they thought this would go to trial, you're absolutely insane. The intention was never to bring this to trial. The intention was put the weight of the state on his neck and force him to plead guilty in order to avoid having to have a trial and have the attention on this and have scrutiny. And, you know, part of that was this whole thing of no cameras in the courtroom. Actually, let me bring something up for you. I didn't intend to do this, but I might as well since you're all here and you're being so wonderful. Just a moment. Did you guys hear me reading any of that first page? I'm not sure if my microphone was on. It's okay. I just read the title. Okay. I just read the title. It said, colorful, dramatic, and highly unprofessional. Prosecutor responds to filing by Richard Allen's legal team. Defends 2022 search warrant. The documents were submitted after filings by Allen's legal team outlining why they believe Abby Williams and Libby German were, quote unquote, ritualistically sacrificed. In a series of new court filings, Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClellan is defending an October 2022 search warrant served by investigators at the home of Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. McClellan is also strongly arguing against cameras in the courtroom during proceedings in the case. The documents were submitted roughly 1 week after attorneys for Allen submitted a filing outlining why they believe the girls were ritualistically sacrificed and leveled accusations against lead detectives of ignoring or intentionally suppressing that evidence for years. So pay attention to the timeline. When did McClellan argue against cameras in the courtroom? After the defense alleges the girls were ritualistically sacrificed. Okay? McClellan wrote, the state believes the allegations made by Allen's defense, quote, are not supported by evidence that they have collected, describing the 136-page memorandum as colorful, dramatic, and highly unprofessional. McClellan responded to allegations from Allen's defense that the Carroll County Sheriff, quote, intentionally concealed evidence and lied about other evidence while seeking a warrant to search Allen's home. Sheriff Tony Liggett did not intentionally or recklessly omit evidence or lie about evidence in the probable cause affidavit. Yes, he did. Or lie about evidence to support the search warrant. Yes, he did, McClellan wrote. So are you saying that this whole blanket of secrecy over this trial is related to allegations that evidence was intentionally concealed and lied about, and that the girls were potentially ritualistically sacrificed? The state also expressed serious concerns about allowing proceedings in the case to be broadcast, citing what it called the defense team's extrajudicial grandstanding with the filing of certain court documents that were publicly released. Well, how about the extrajudicial grandstanding of hiring a PR firm to control all the public narrative around this case for 8 fucking years? Is that not manipulating, grandstanding? Among the claims made by the defense in the filings, the statements the defense has made are, quote unquote, not true and could be made to show on national media. Oh, you're afraid of national coverage. Okay, you get it? The release of the defense's document to support search warrants evidence only contained 13 pages of relevant, and the remaining 90% of the memorandum outlines its fanciful defense for social media to devour. Interesting that he chose the number 13. None of you caught on that? That he called out, he specifically chose the number 13 in the number of pages that he felt were pertinent. He continues that cameras could be distracting to the proceedings. How could that be if the camera already exists in the courtroom to do this very task? And McClellan also continued with, broadcasting will allow the defense team to grandstand on camera about the imagined bad motives of state actors. The broadcasting evidence to the public, quote, allows for the potential members of the public seeing gruesome images of the deaths of 2 little girls, while also seeing the toll that it takes on the family to see this tragedy play out in court. False, because those cameras could have been intentionally blurred out during the showing of gruesome images. So that's a blatant lie. The projector screen or the monitor that was showing the jury these gruesome images could have been directed away from the cameras. And furthermore, now listen to this one, okay? Listen to this one. That AI could have been used to create deep fakes that can alter what is actually happening in court. You don't say. I'm going to skip ahead. The prosecutor's office also filed a document titled Motion for All Future Pleadings and Filings to be Sealed for the court's review before being released to the public. This is the blanket of secrecy being cast over this case. Okay? Now that is really something, isn't it? Well, guys, it looks like I've accidentally lost my screen here. Let me try to get myself back wherever. Where am I? Jeez. I literally can't find my screen here. Well, this is the first time this has ever happened. I am literally lost in oblivion right now. I don't know where my screen is. Let's see. Jeez. Well, who knows what I've done? I can't continue without my screen. I can't even end the stream. Where am I? All right, I'm here. Well, that's not going to work. Okay. Okay. Um yeah, I don't know what happened to my. Let's see. Just a minute. Guys, it's bewildering. I'm somewhere here. I can't find my screen, but there's one more I wanted to put up. Let's see. See if this works. All right. Has this worked? All right. Has this worked? All right. So, state's response to defendant's motion for broadcasting order. It says, Now Comes Indiana by McClellan, and respectfully responds to the defendant's motion for broadcasting order. Again, check the date, okay? September 25th, 2023. Remember, the Franks memo was filed September 18th. It says, the state has serious concerns regarding the defendant's motion for broadcasting order and would ask the court to consider the following. That on September 13th, 2023, the defendant filed a motion for broadcasting order to allow cameras in the courtroom for all future courtroom proceedings. That the defense is asking the court to broadcast both the trial and the pretrial proceedings in their entirety. What's wrong with that? First, the state would ask the court to consider that previously this court has expressed a concern about extrajudicial grandstanding. There's that word again. Which led to the issuance of a gag order by the court. The defense team has continued this extrajudicial grandstanding throughout their motions, including the emergency motion to modify safekeeping order filed April 5th, 2023. Most recently, with their verified motion for immediate transfer of custody and the motion for Frank's hearing, which with attached memorandum in support, all filed on September 18th, 2023. So it took him less than a week. Okay, it took him less than a week after this Frank's memo, and it never occurred to me, honestly, if I'm going to be completely transparent with you, until I reread this, it didn't occur to me, this just recently hit me over the head like an iron skillet, because it occurred to me that this was in direct response to the Frank's memo. Okay, this right here was in direct response to the Frank's memorandum. And you got to think about that. That the broadcasting of pretrial and trial proceedings create the same concerns, if not more, given that an attorney is immune from libel proceedings for statements made in open court. The defense counsel continues to use inflammatory language in pleadings, including statements that are simply not true. And there is no reason to think they will not continue to use superfluous. Does he not know what the word superfluous is? Supercilious language? Maybe that's a word, but I don't know it. In court, designed as sound bites for recording on the national stage. For example, the language used by defense describing the conditions under which Mr. Allen has been forced to endure or akin to that of a prisoner of war. Where's the lie? That the defense has filed its 136-page memorandum in support of the Frank's hearing, in which only 13, there's that number, 13 pages refer to any allegations relevant to the question of a Frank's inquiry. The remaining 90% of the memorandum outlines its fanciful defense. You see, why is he allowed to use this word, fanciful? For social media to devour. Notice he didn't state here that it was Todd Click and Kevin Murphy who are law enforcement officers who created this information that the memorandum laid out. He omitted that portion, right? That the defense has already moved for a change of venue, citing prejudicial publicity, and if the court were to allow broadcasting of pretrial hearings, that publicity would be pervasive and, as the defendant notes, will be without boundaries given the worldwide interest in the proceedings. That the state believes that the duty of managing the broadcast media that is imposed on the court may become distracting, considering the number of media outlets that may request access to broadcast. The fact that the judge is in an unfamiliar courtroom. Oh, do you mean the judge is totally incompetent with allowing a pool camera to sit there that's built into the courtroom? That the length and complexity of this case, the duty to protect the jurors' identities and sensitive content that will be presented at trial and jury and pretrial hearings. Wait, you mean you can't do like every single other broadcast trial and ensure that the camera is not pointed at the jurors or the crime scene photos? That the state believes these hurdles may also have a negative impact on participants in the proceedings and impair the dignity of the trial. Sure, because having a kangaroo court in darkness is what we call justice in America. If this is all on the up and up, all of this should be broadcast to the entire world with complete transparency because of the pride you have in the process and the validity of your case. But no, we do everything in the dark of night in Delphi, Indiana, which is clear if you understand what happened to these girls and the way that darkness played a role in the moving of the bodies on February 14th in the early AM hours. That the defense has already expressed its intent to attack not only the evidence, but the credibility of those who investigated the case, which will allow the defense team to grandstand on camera, there's that word again, about the imagined bad motives of the state actors, because the state actors did have bad motives. This is put on display in the defense's memorandum in support of the accused motion for Frank's hearing, where the defense spends much of its time disparaging not the evidence, but the state, investigators, and other state actors. This does nothing to increase public confidence in the system. No, on the contrary, Mr. McClelland, having a trial in the darkness of secrecy is something that should have been relegated to the dark ages, not something we do in 2024 and 2025 in the United States of America, sir. That given the layout of the courtroom, the state has concerns that with cameras in the courtroom, those cameras may broadcast the jurors, witnesses who are minors, attorney-client communications, and material on counsel's tables. Sir, that's a gaslight. All that can be averted and is done every single day in every single courtroom that allows cameras. That the state believes the defendant's statements that the jurisprudence in the state of Indiana will be scrutinized in a manner that is unusual and rare in Indiana courts because we do things in the dark of night in Indiana. That's how we maintained control over this society. Because the circumstances surrounding this case is unprecedented. I think you mean are unprecedented, Mr. McClelland. That the defendants claim that the Community Relations Committee of the Judicial Conference of Indiana favored the COSCA article favorably is false. The COSCA article makes several recommendations to courts on how to build public trust and confidence including expanding transparency, increasing social media presence, publishing summaries of court decisions directed to a general public audience, and continued civic education. A committee member mentioned the pilot program was highlighted in that article, not that the committee favorably considered the article. What the fuck even kind of argument is that? Now, here's an interesting one. Here's an interesting one for you all to listen to and consider. That cameras have never been allowed in the Carroll County Circuit Court during any proceedings. Did he accidentally reveal too much? Say it again. Wait. That cameras have never been allowed in the Carroll County Circuit Court during any proceedings? That the defense notes that the size of the courtroom lends itself to many onlookers, meaning that there's plenty of room for legacy press to attend and report the activities of the court. Yeah, and you controlled them all. That's why they all came out full of shit with misinformation and confused the public. And even the best personnel we had sitting in that courtroom to try to come back with some transparency failed, because now, judging from the transcripts that have been released, we can tell that they got them many things wrong. And he goes on, and I'll skip over, that having cameras in the courtroom makes it difficult to have a separation of witness for any testimony that witnesses plan to give. And the state is concerned that witnesses may inadvertently violate any separation of witness order due to potential pervasiveness of media related to the case, creating issues with the admissibility or reliability of another gaslight. Because, didn't they all agree in this stipulation pre-trial that the family would be allowed in there despite the need for a separation? Yeah, I thought so. That broadcasting the evidence out to the public allows for the potential members of the public seeing gruesome images of deaths of two little girls. Oh, all of a sudden we refer to them as two little girls when it's advantageous or in your interest to do so. Broadcasting the evidence did not have to include the public being broadcast gruesome images of the two little girls. It's just another, like, he's repeated this for the second time in this document, and it's just a gaslight. And of course, seeing the toll it takes out on the family to see this tragedy played out in court. Well, the families never exhibited a single tear. Never seen a single tear, so why should they cry now? Of course, I'm not referring to the two mothers in the case. That allowing cameras in such a highly publicized and sensationalized case runs the risk of creating a circus atmosphere both in person and online. No, the circus atmosphere was created outside of the courtroom while you allowed criminals and drunks and meth heads to gallivant outside of the courtroom for an entire month, vomiting all over the place because they're getting shit-faced drunk celebrating your railroading of Richard Allen. That's where the circus was. Seeing 15-second clips taken out of context can race around the world in seconds, giving an inaccurate impression of actual evidence and conduct of court proceedings. Why do you care, sir? Because isn't this judged in the court of law and not in the court of public opinion? So why are you so concerned all of a sudden about the court of public opinion? That the allegations that the fact that the families have voluntarily taken to social media and other media outlets somehow abrogates their right to privacy is unfair. No, it's not. The family of Abby and Libby have made themselves limited purpose public figures. Google it. The fact that they endlessly went on podcast, paraded around to CrimeCon, and had no problem moderating Facebook groups and being all over social media, and Kelsey talking shit on Twitter, all of the shit that went down. They had zero desire for any sort of privacy. They turned themselves into public figures. But now all of a sudden, this is unfair to them because they seek privacy. That the state does not agree with the defendant's theory that having cameras in the courtroom will reduce unpredictable behavior from witnesses and other participants. The state believes that having cameras in the courtroom will give participants in the courtroom a nationwide platform to further their own agenda, to build their brand, promote whatever platform they want to generally showboat, and instead focus on presenting the evidence. Oh, he again, there's a typo here. Instead of focusing. Okay, where's the ing behind that word, sir? You mean instead of focusing on presenting the evidence in a professional, concise manner? But this is, don't you find it interesting, this PR speak here? The PR speak in this paragraph is very telling. So for these people to say that they don't think about branding, promotion, platforming, showboating, that's all he's calling out. He's basically projecting what they are hyper fixated on, which is PR. That the pilot programs in Indiana were conducted prior to the popularity of, listen to this, artificial intelligence software that allows for the creation of deep fakes that intentionally and undetectably can alter the things that are said in court, giving the inaccurate impression of the actual business of court. You mean, wait. You mean you're worried about artificial intelligence software and AI creating deep fakes? Very interesting, given that that Bridge Guy video appears to be just that, sir. Again, why are you so concerned with the court of public opinion when you operate in an environment of the court of law? So you're highly concerned. Look, paragraph 21 and 22. Highly concerned with PR, highly concerned with AI deep fakes. All right. Check, check. Why is that on? Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I'm having a problem, but can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem, but can you hear me? Jesus, okay, come on, man. Like, I'm seriously bewildered where my other screen is because I can't find my screen. I mean, where on earth could it be? I don't have hot corners on this thing. Okay. All right, check, check. Oh, I am back. I am back. Thank you to the person who texted me. Jeez, man. Thank you very much for texting because you just saved me. Everybody, give a round of applause to our viewer who sent me a text. Thank you very much. Okay, you saved me. All right, so I know that was a rough go. Show that to you, okay, to kind of close out that segment. And I'm going to put the link up because I know Christina wants to join. Let's see. Let's see. I truly apologize for those technical difficulties. Who the hell knew? And I almost feel like I need some water while she's getting herself together. So let's let her get up here. And I'll go refill my water. I'm all emptied out. So just a moment. Let's see. All right, I'm back, and I don't have anyone backstage here, so I'll just keep working. Let's see. What else do I have to tell you? Let's see. A special shout out very quickly. I see here now I got my screen back that Mark Ellis sent a super chat. Hey, Mark, thank you for the support, brother. Thank you very much, Mark. And Zaddy, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the support, brother. I'm trying to look at my goal and say we must be near the goal now. Let's see. Oh, come on, man. Just problematic with the technology tonight. I'm losing. Okay. Anyway, thank you for the support, you guys who have sent in support. I got some things to do. Let's see. First of all, okay, now I'm back on track. I feel good again. I got the iPad open, got my phone here in case I get a mysterious text. All right. Got my eyes on my screen again after half an hour of struggling. All right, so I had an announcement to make. Okay, so there's two announcements. Like I said, please go. If you look at the top of the chat, I've linked the Twitch channel, which is the Prof Allegedly. Okay, twitch.tv / the Prof Allegedly. You'll find me at Twitch where you can go ahead and follow me there, and we have our Thursday night hangouts that are pretty fun. Hey, thank you, Rotting Jules, for the super chat. Let me put that up. I'm closing in on a few hundred hours of listening and being years behind. Thank you for your work. Well, you're welcome here, and thank you for the nice words. And I left all that content up hoping that people would go put eyes on it, because we covered a lot of ground and I feel highly passionate about it. I think we've done a lot of work there. So thank you so much, Rotting Jules. So yeah, I asked that you go over to Twitch on Thursday nights. It's pretty fun over there, and the chat is a lot different and a lot more fun than this chat. But this chat, the people here are fun, but the technology over at Twitch is really entertaining. Anyhow, I want to thank Rotting Jules for the kind words and the super chat and the encouragement. It's a complicated case, you know. Now, secondly, I know I've been saying I have a Substack coming. It's coming. Okay, I've been working on this article for a week now. So please forgive me. It ended up being a series of articles because it's so much information. But I have some Substack coming. So those of you who follow me over there, there's stuff coming on the Substack. So it's in process. Okay. Now, number two, I've decided to do something different. And that is on Friday nights, I'm going to start a raffle. And with the way we're going to do the raffle is I'm going to have something of value every time that I open a raffle, and everyone will be able to contribute $4.99 or $5, and you send that to the Cash App. So the way the raffle is going to work is for an entry into the raffle, you send a Cash App $5. And this week, it's going to be an American Silver Eagle 1 ounce coin. Okay, an American Silver Eagle. And the way the raffle is going to work is everyone who sends a $5 super chat will get 2 entries into the raffle box. Otherwise, everyone who sends me an email will get a single entry into the raffle. And at the end of the time period, which should be a week, I will have a random generator select out of the list the winner of the raffle. So Uh, so this Friday, I'll announce and I'll show the 1 ounce silver eagle. I think it'll be fun. It's a way to try to help encourage all of you to support the channel because I do need support on the channel in that way. But also, it'll be a handsome reward for the winner because as you see, the price of silver has just been absolutely skyrocketing. We were at $52 an ounce last night, down from $16 an ounce or so a few years ago during COVID. So at $52 an ounce, a silver eagle's worth about $65 if you consider the $12 premium on the silver eagles. So starting Friday, I'll announce that. But you can start today if you want. If you send a Cash App $5, everybody with an exact $5 amount or higher to the Cash App, I'm entering twice in the raffle. And anyway, we'll talk about it more on Friday. But I'm thinking every Friday we'll do a raffle. And the first one, of course, we won't have a winner. But by next Friday, we'll have a winner. And then hopefully every Friday, I'll get to announce a winner. And it's going to be like silver. I'll raffle off crypto. I'll raffle off silver, bullion, and things of value like that. It should be fun so that every Friday, somebody's going to win something like $50 or more. So we're going to try that out and hopefully it works. Anyway, that's my announcement. And I thought that we were going to have a guest, but she didn't click. So let me put it up one more time. And if she doesn't come, then we'll just skip it. Okay. So let me paste it one more time. Now, another thing. Oh, and this thing with the raffle is this: U.S. citizens only. I forgot to say that. I have the entire thing. All the guidelines are all printed out. But basically, it's going to be 18 years or older, U.S. citizens only, because I'm not mailing to Canada or Mexico or any place else. So if you're 18 or older in the U.S., go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. What was I going to speak about? Death certificates. Okay, death certificates. Oh, that puts Sweet Dude Shibby out of the running. Oh, guys. Well, look, I will always send it to Diana. If Diana wants to go through the trouble of exporting to Canada and dealing with customs, I'll let Diana handle it. I'll volunteer Diana to ship to Shibby or Dieter or anyone. So I apologize to you Canadians. I love you. But you know, I was led to remember in speaking with someone today how autopsy reports have an Achilles heel. Okay? See, Diana's down to do it. I knew it. Diana's down for anything. She's such a go-getter. So yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for allowing me to volunteer you. But yeah, anybody in Canada wins. Sorry, it's going to be up to Diana to handle it because I don't like the post office. If I can't send it out of my mailbox, I'm not doing it. Autopsy reports. Now, I've told you guys before that my brother was murdered. He was beat to death. It's a sort of a personal thing. If you read the autopsy report, it's going to lay out all the injuries. True. It's going to lay out the times. True. It's going to lay out facts that cannot be dismissed. True. But you know where the Achilles heel lies? Cause of death. Because that's a technicality that they can fudge. And in my experience, that's what happened with my brother. And I almost wonder with Abby and Libby if that's not what took place with Abby and Libby. Because don't you find it odd that we can't get a concrete time of death for each of those girls separately? That we can't get a solid handle on those things? It's unacceptable. But it's a place where politics can become involved in this process, because if you've got someone compromised that's willing to bend the truth on the autopsy report and the death certificate, then you end up with a situation where it can snowball, sort of like it did at trial here, where we couldn't get a very specific, accurate time of death for each of these girls. Why not? This is the profession. Like I said, every aspect of this Delphi case has been thoroughly effed since day one. And how that appeared in trial when it came to determining about the deaths of these girls, we couldn't get solid times of death. Well, you know why? Because I believe, it's my hypothesis, that those girls died separately at different times. And therefore, that had to be fudged. Because if you had a specific, very highly accurate, or how would I say? I like the term. What's the term I'm looking for? High fidelity in the time of death of each girl. I believe that it would show that those girls died way too far apart in time from each other for a single perpetrator to commit this act in the time frame that is alleged by this theory of the crime. And I think that's highly concerning. If those girls died separately, which I truly believe they did, at separate times and separate manners, at separate places, an accurate time of death for each would reveal that and dismantle the entire state's case right there. That would be enough. You know, don't you see that? That a highly accurate time of death for each girl that demonstrated that they died 12, 18 hours apart in time. That would be the Achilles heel in this state's case. So therefore, we have to blur the lines. And that's absolutely unacceptable. And it's just another in a series of obfuscations that has created this travesty. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that before I moved on. And so I've touched on it. And I hope that you all remember that. Remember that really important point, that we were not given times of deaths that have a great accuracy so that we would know, and therefore we'd be able to determine that those girls died so far apart in time that you can't make this theory of the crime work. Anyway, put a pin in it. That's what I have to say. Anyway, I want to welcome on our last segment here, Christina, to come in. She asked to come on, so I want to let her on and see what she has to say. So let's welcome Christina, everybody. Hello.
Hey, Prof. How's it going?
Hey, loud and clear.
Good.
Good to
Hey,
good to
everybody.
see you. Thanks for returning.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I would have came on a little bit sooner, but I didn't see the link, so I'm glad you put it up. Figured I'd say hi.
Well, thank you. Everyone says hey and yay. Carla Ann says yay. Let me put that up.
I was trying to look through this in the backstage to see how to look at stuff. I don't know that I really know how.
Oh, the
Oh, I think I
chat.
figured it out. Hey. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, everyone says hi.
I
And
didn't know
hey,
anything.
everybody in the chat, thanks so much for sticking with me here. We're at 2 hours. So thanks everyone who stuck around for the third hour. So thank you so much. We'll be getting out of here soon. Soon as Christina's done, we're out of here. But yeah, God bless everyone. Thanks for being here tonight.
Mhm.
And thanks for coming. So what's on your mind?
Um, well, you just had it opened up, so I was just going to call in and say, hey, I would have, it would have been a lot longer that, whenever you were just going over a lot of other different stuff, but I didn't know if, and I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about either, or if there's any questions anybody has, I'm willing to answer because I couldn't see the chat last time too. So,
Yeah, you
or
guys got
whatever. Sure.
questions? Yeah, no, I told you, I said at the beginning of the show, I had no agenda. I just wanted to come on, say hi to everybody, and I ended up saying hi to everybody. So I'm kind of
Right.
done with. I did find that interesting, the way that McClellan didn't bring all that up until that Frank's memorandum, and then he shit his pants, and then he produced all of those arguments, and so it's something to consider.
Well, according to Baldwin, he told him to write it. It almost sounds like a setup. Like as far as the Franks, he said McClelland told him just write it to do a Franks.
That's a good point because I often forget that. I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting. He was fully aware of the stuff, and then still wanted to pursue the case without actually any of it really being looked into, or even getting a hearing eventually.
Shibby wants you to say Shibby.
Hey, Shibby. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Hey, Shibby. Oh, let me see. I think I can. I don't know. Shibby, please.
Hey, Shay Watson. Welcome. Oh, you're
Just
about to have a
now chances.
party.
Oh gosh.
A one Shay party with a bunch of pizza and a pack of dogs.
Oh gosh. I was trying to
Sounds
look
like
at
a
these
party.
comments. Where am I from? I'm from Alabama.
Oh, that's a good point, Jake Brooks.
Let's
Jake
see.
is saying that McClellan wanted him to write that
Mhm.
so that he would know and make sure those folks were not in discovery later.
That's actually a really good point. I agree with that. Yeah.
Hey, I don't have many male muses,
Jake
but
is
Jake is
definitely
is
smart.
quickly becoming one.
He is. He's really smart. Yeah. I was disappointed that I missed him on Twitch, but I did catch it when you re-aired it. So it was that was a really good. It was really good to hear him. I always like hearing him talk too. So
Me too.
he has really good insight.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to be doing that too. If we have guests on Thursday nights and it's hard hitting,
Yeah.
I'm going to be bringing that over to YouTube, and I'm going to do vice versa. That's a little spoiler for all of you. What I'm going to be doing on Twitch is migrating some of my best lives over and uploading them on Twitch. That'll be fun for the people who are on Twitch who never heard of the prof. They'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to go and catch some of my older, better live streams. But that's a whole other subject. Look, ACB had a question.
Oh, where is he? Oh.
He said, "Here are some questions. Did law enforcement have a theory that Kagan Klein and his associates were involved, then had to bury that to keep from giving Richard Allen a third-party defense?" Yeah.
I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. I still don't even know how I feel about the whole situation. So I don't even know that I would have a good answer.
Oh
I
my
can't make my
God.
mind up which way to go in regards to Kagan Klein.
Well,
So,
you know what I'm concerned about?
mhm.
Grissom. Why was he brought to Grissom? What was he shown? What was
Oh,
discussed? You
are
know,
you talking about that? Was it the was it called Grissom Air Force Base?
that's the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting. I had to look that up because I wasn't sure what that meant in the documents. And wasn't someone else interviewed somewhere different? Wasn't it one of the girls? Bree. I don't know that it matters, but I just think it's interesting. She was interviewed somewhere other than just like a station, wasn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to look back. I have that saved because I noted like two people, him at the Air Force Base, which that seems really interesting. And then she was interviewed somewhere. It wasn't an Air Force Base, but it was somewhere different, like the U.S. Marshals or something like that, office or something like that.
Hey, Rebecca, welcome in. Watch the replay, Rebecca. It was a pretty good first half. Bree interviewed by
Okay.
U.S. Marshals,
Yep.
but not for
Hmm.
years later. Question:
Right.
what is the responsibility of U.S. Marshals? Interesting about their level of involvement in this case,
Right.
but people seem to always overlook that.
And Homeland Security weren't they on this too? There are a lot of agencies in this case that are go well beyond just the state or the FBI, which is really interesting. It's really, I mean, it makes you wonder.
Did you see that creepy photo with Kelsey, Bree, and Bree's dad
No.
in the woods?
What? How
Who
did
in
I
the
miss
chat?
that?
Have you
What?
guys in the chat seen that?
Mm-mm.
A creepy photo of Kelsey, Bree, and her dad in the woods.
Wow.
Something like a photo says 1,000 words, and you don't even know the half
What?
of it. Something like that. Hmm.
Mm-mm. I don't know that I've seen that. I don't think I've ever seen their dad, the Bree's dad.
Well, I've said before, I think all the witnesses lied. So
Hmm.
there's that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I've always wondered about Betsy Blair. I I I don't know that I can say that she uh, didn't tell the truth about something, but her Fitbit stuff just doesn't really make a lot of sense. The what was it? I know like she didn't. I don't think they talked to her right away, did they? Or if they did, like she didn't come forward herself or something. I don't know that I remember exactly how that went, but it seems like I remember something like that. Bree's dad got out of town.
Real
Kelsey?
nice, interesting conversation in the chat.
Hmm. I just saw ACV's comment where he said her dad got out of town. I don't know that I knew that.
Yeah, what's up with the yellow rope? I agree, ACV.
I think I
What's up
remember
with that
something
rope?
about that.
And what's
About
up with
that.
the kid's broken belt?
Hmm.
Yeah. What was going on?
Yeah, and I also saw something about that green bandana in the
Green
evidence stuff.
bandana, Vinlander
Mhm.
Green.
But did you notice the contradictions in the stuff I wish that I had it right now, where it was talking about where things were found. And it was not, it didn't say that like, what was it? A sock, some underwear. There were a couple of items that it talked about were on the ground, and it didn't mention the water. And I wish that I had it on me, because to me, I don't know. I just think that's weird. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or caught on to that. Man, I wish I could remember where I read that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was something that I had read. It's for the evidence that's like obtained, and where it's talking about specific things, like one of the socks. What was it? One of the socks, I believe, or something. I'd have to look back again. I think it might have been the shoe. I didn't see that it mentioned it being in the water, because one of the shoes was found over there with them, and one was like floating. I guess one was near Abby, and then one was on Abby. But let's see, the yellow rope, and then the yellow rope, if I remember correctly, I believe, unless this is something different, but I believe it is where one of the first people on scene said he like roped off sort of like a perimeter around so that they all knew to walk. Is that a different rope than the yellow rope?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yellow rope. I mean, there was leaks of discovery and evidence
Mm-hmm.
way back in 2023, way back.
Yeah.
And that was part of the murmurings.
Yeah, oh, man, I had
AC-
some stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
ACV
Sorry.
says, what are Christina's thoughts on the letters Reese sent to Nick but got lost?
Well, or well, I guess he's saying the ones that are lost. I don't even. I'm not sure what I think about that either. I do know that McClellan's saying in a interview or something after the trial that he got some of the letters, but that he was prepping for trial, so he didn't even think to open them. That
And then,
also feels.
then,
Go ahead.
then they're the ones that
Mm-hmm.
disappeared.
Right. I don't know about those, but I think it's always struck me weird that McClellan would even admit to that. It almost the way that a lot of these people involved in this case are, it feels to me almost like an intentional way to get a mistrial. Any attorney would know. Even admitting to that would be grounds for a mistrial. He's not stupid.
I wonder what the hell these appellate attorneys are going to do. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Right.
talk about nervous anticipation. It's like, are you guys going to actually do your fucking job this time?
Well, I don't even know how they can claim that that video is him, because according to the 2019 presser, the April 22nd presser, they said that what was it? They cleared what was it? They cleared the first. I don't know that they came out right and said there that they cleared it. They said it was secondary. Anna Williams basically said they'd figured out who the first sketch was, and that's why they went the new route. And they said it's documented on the papers that they released that Their focus was the young bridge guy. And then I also have the article, I have the link, and I have a screenshot where they said they felt the young bridge guy sketch, the person there, is who murdered the girls. So I don't understand how Nick McClellan could go in trial and say, if you can say that this man on the bridge, or whatever it was he said, is Rick Allen. I forget exactly how he said it, but they're saying that that's like I guess this older person or whatever. Go.
Well, that's the reason they had to exclude those sketches.
Mm-hmm.
Because those sketches, like, not only did they exclude the sketches, they
Right.
excluded any mention of anything about those sketches. And that's all McClellan's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And because those sketches open Pandora's box of problems, of conundrums, or whatever, contradictions.
Mm-hmm.
So they made sure to exclude that. And see, that's what I mean about these appellate attorneys. Are they going to be able to actually fucking deep dive and do a real job? Or is it just going to be more surface level facial bullshit? Oh, we checked the box. Yeah, we tried to write an appellate brief. Okay, done. Okay, he's not awarded. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have zero confidence in this system anymore in Indiana right
I was going
now.
to say, not in Indiana. I mean, I know that there has to be some level of trust in these things that are supposed to protect, our rights, but it is really hard when you see the things that have been allowed to go down in this case. And it's it's the things that have happened in in this case is, it's scary. It should scare people that if this can happen there, if this can happen to him, and this many people keep quiet, if there's things put in place to make sure all of this stuff works out like it needs to either protect or to cover up for whatever
Mm-hmm.
I guess they need, that should be really scary to people, because if it can happen to him, it really truly can happen to anyone. And the things that, I don't even get it. Some of it, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I still can't. I don't know which way is up or down, to be honest, because it just seems like a lot of this stuff should have been stopped before it even got this far. Um, I don't know how Holman was able to arrest him that day. He literally said in interviews, they just called him in to talk, to get his car, and he wanted to talk to him some. They didn't have really anything, supposedly. And then he talked to him and yelled at him and then arrested him.
Yeah, and have you
Nothing
noticed
changed.
this? Because I noticed it, and I know that Jake noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that there are portions cut out of that interview?
Are you talking about the
Holman and
those? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
what's
Yeah.
cut out, and why was that allowed?
Right. So they claim it was something about a polygraph, but it was like one part that they did that to. Like, I don't understand why that would have to be
And,
redacted to be released. But
well, remember when he's screaming his ass off at
oh
the
god,
end, when
yes.
it's escalated to its height? It
Mm-hmm.
cuts out then,
Right.
and it's like, well,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. What else did he scream?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? What was it? They were saying something about talking with Kathy and all, and I still haven't figured out why those can't be released. You hear about interviews, interrogation, things like that being released. I mean, maybe there's something specific, a reason I don't know of, but I don't know why those can't be released. To me, Jerry Ullman is the most obvious uh, buffoon. Is the nicest way that I can put it. It it is clear, it is obvious that he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't do the read technique. He he claims he was given back basically the energy that Rick was giving him. Like Rick was giving him like up yours energy. He was like he was just laid back, you know what I'm saying? Um and Holman couldn't handle himself. He went ballistic on him. It's kind of embarrassing.
For most normal people, that would be embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Holman has he has a very serious complex. He thought all of his yelling and stuff was gonna, force, I guess, Rick to confess. And then that was the goal of sending him to Westville. And I think once they had done what they did, I guess, I don't know. It's almost like they just were like, well, you know what? We just may as well, maybe if we hold him longer. I don't know. I think that's what happened whenever it was right before time for trial. I think that's why the whole thing with the crime scene photo leak stuff happened. I don't think McClellan and them were ready. Based on the things that we've even seen and heard, what did he do for, 5.5 years? Like, what did he do? There was nothing put on trial that was worthy
That's what
of
keeps.
$4 million.
Oh, yeah, the money is unbelievable. You know, I keep thinking of, and I said this before, but like I always say, endless repetition. Uh, so you got one pharmacy in town. You know, if you live in a small town, that pharmacy is the lifeblood because it's the place you can run to quickly. Da 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 da.
Right.
Are you telling me all those people who had been out there, those kids, quote unquote, who had been out there and saw this guy, and then there's this horrible murder, and they say, "Oh, I've seen a guy."
Mm-hmm.
So for all these years, they see Richard Allen and don't realize that's a guy they've seen. None of them, not once, say, "Hey, that could be the guy that was out there that I witnessed."
Right. I don't know how many people were there, because if you look at all of their witness statements, one of the girls, like the minors at the time, said he had a wrinkly face. That's not something that you kind of like accidentally throw out there. Like, whether or not somebody has a wrinkly face. And that's actually a very distinct
Mm-hmm.
feature that somebody would have. And not to mention, like, I mean, the Daniel Pearson is who pretty much matches that first sketch. Another thing that I found interesting in some of the stuff that I've read is where, who was it who said they saw somebody on the pier? I'll have to go back and look. There was somebody else supposedly out there on the pier. Maybe it was, I want to say it was Derek German. At least it was some of the notes that I had read. That could have been an error, though, like from some of the stuff that
Those notes are bad. Yeah,
Are
I
they
know
bad?
the notes they're bad.
I
But
was going
see,
to say, 'cause some don't make sense.
that's
Yeah.
part of the problem
Mm-hmm.
with no record of this trial.
Right.
And so we can't check the transcripts against a recording.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we were counting on people coming out of the courtroom who got everything mixed up and wrong. And they had 15 or 20 of them. They're all reporting different shit. That's all convoluted. And that's what we all ended up with. And you know how Jake Brooks made this point a while back in a show where he said, some shit you can't erase once it's in the public's consciousness.
Right.
You know? And
Yeah.
to me, that was the point of marching Rick Allen out like Hannibal Lecter. You know, that was a brilliant PR move on the side of the state to say, we're going to march him out here around like this all the time, have him on camera like this. And in the public's mind, he's going to look like a monster and dangerous. And you can't erase that shit.
Well, that's a PR move. With some of the cases that I've shared, PR cases with different people in the comments, they're cases that are verifiable with that had PR teams or crisis management teams, whatever. They all have different names. But one of those cases in particular, that was actually something they did with the defendants. They perp walked them with, like you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
with all of this protection, with like they needed all of this protection around him, as if I guess somebody was going to hurt him. He was going to, I don't know, but it's not about protection. It's about like the perception, about what people see that as. You see
Where's
that
his business
as a
suit?
monster.
Yeah,
Mhm.
why don't they unshackle him and put him in a business suit? Like, come on, man.
Right. Does anybody remember? Oh my gosh, the way that times have changed. If anybody looks back through time and you go back and find Ted Bundy, I believe it was Ted Bundy, they come out, they have him out in the like the corridor of the courthouse. And there's a bunch of officers, but they're in like mostly dress suits and stuff. And they come out there and they're serving him, they're reading him the warrant out there. He's not chained up, shackled. It's like completely different.
Completely. It's stark contrast, like obvious. Look, Shay
Mhm.
Watson says that's exactly what I've been saying all along, Prof. I've seen Richard Allen at work. He is notable. Really? You've seen him at
Oh,
work? If anybody saw him that day, they would at least have thought, looked a lot like the CBS dude, or
well,
vice versa. Yeah.
right. He you would recognize, you know what I'm saying? You would recognize his features, just not just his face, but his height, his shape, he
Mm-hmm.
has a shaved head.
He has a particular looking face too. You know, like lots of
Hmm.
people have faces, but he does have a kind of a distinct face.
Hmm. Yeah.
And this is another one. Yeah. How odd was it that no one was asked to identify him?
Yeah,
Another
that's
thing.
crazy. Yeah, it is. And not to mention, like, if people really go through and look at the timeline, and you really lay out the timeline of people at the trail that day, Betsy Blair's time doesn't match up. The times that it says that she would be a minute or two ahead of him, he would have been like sitting on the bench. It just, how could he be? If you look at the times, none of it adds up. None of it adds up for him to have been there. Um, it just, there's a ton of things. Like if I would have known I was calling in, I would have had some more. I would have had something laid out. But yeah, they.
It's okay. We're hanging out. Hey, thank
Yeah.
you, Stephen. Stephen's having nice words. Thanks so much for being encouraging and having nice words, Stephen.
Oh, I just saw Trial Junkie's comment. Who had a wrinkly face? Well, I don't really know who had a wrinkly face. One of the witnesses said the person that they passed had a wrinkly face. The only person that I can say that is in this case that we've seen who does have a wrinkly face is Elvis Fields.
I was gonna say, see, wrinkly doesn't always mean old because you could just be
Right.
all drawn in and like a drug user or whatever, and your face will get all drawn
Yeah.
down. And I would say Elvis has a wrinkly face for a younger person.
He does. He has a very distinct wrinkly face. Like, I'm not trying to mock him or make fun of him, but that's just his features. And I don't know whether he was there that day or not. It's been said he could have been, but that's the only person I could think of. I mean, but nobody, one thing that sticks out to me that nobody really pays attention to is not one witness identified Betsy Blair. None. You won't find her name or her description, an older lady, a woman. You will not find that in any person's witness statements. Why is that? I don't know that anybody's
Those
thought about that.
fucking witnesses just bother
Hmm.
the shit out of me. They
Right.
really do. It's as if I know I don't want to keep going over the same stuff, but she bothers me highly. Like her
It's
activity, like what bothers me about her is her activity that day, which is illogical. And
weird.
either she's the most scattered ADHD person, or she's all over the place and like not making sensible moves,
Hmm.
or it's all a farce. you know, I don't know.
And if they've changed up things, first of all, from what I recall, she didn't want to come forward anyway. If I remember the story, like her husband kind of, I don't know, like pushed her to speak with police or something. I can't verify that as a fact. That's just what I remember hearing. But um, whenever they did talk with her, if they've tried to kind of push around and bully other people around into um, s- saying whatever they kind of want or pushing, I mean, is she gonna buck up to them? I don't see that happening. It sounds like, I mean, she could have. I mean, she even could have said in trial too, like, I saw a young dude on the bridge. Like, that guy's not the guy that I saw. I think she even said muscular. If you go back and read her statement stuff or whatever, I believe she even said like muscular or something. Um, and they didn't mention any of that publicly or in the trial.
Why didn't defense impeach those witnesses more with that kind of stuff? You said
Right. Right.
muscular, tall, you know,
Some of that. I mean, I do question. One of the things that I struggle with is I guess I don't my goal I don't want to badmouth the defense because I have never had to defend somebody in trial, but I do have questions. I am concerned about some of the things that happened and the way that some of the things went down. And I guess what maybe some explanation, it would probably make sense, but I just can't make sense of allowing certain exhibits, especially this video, the bridge guy video, the picture supposedly from Snapchat of Abby or whatever it was. Um, and like you said, impeaching these witnesses. Why was Daniel Pearson not called? I think it was said that he was going to be called. Why? I don't. I mean,
so let's see. Pearson,
hmm
Chadwell, Keegan Klein, uh, uh, Robert Ives, Elvis Fields. Are you seeing a pattern here?
hmm but Daniel Pearson, his name wasn't not allowed though, was it? Like, right? I don't see why they didn't call him. Like,
Who knows about all these moves? Like I'm saying that. Look at that list of people.
right. Well, wasn't all the people that weren't allowed to be mentioned literally all the people in the Franks?
But yeah, well, that's one thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it was all of them. Yeah.
Christina. Okay. ACV says, do you think there are things that Richard Allen did not want to reveal in court, hence the defense avoiding certain things?
Um, no, not
I
necessarily.
don't.
I don't. No, I don't think that. I don't think they wanted. I don't think he wanted, or maybe the defense didn't want his wife to go on the stand, Kathy. Um, but I don't think there. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know, Prof. What do you think? I don't know that I think that.
I mean, there's that picture floating around with Kathy and Becky's sister.
Mm,
That seems to be, it's a small town.
right.
There's few bars, but They also didn't mention McClellan being related to the German family, which is a whole other thing.
Yeah, and have you read the transcript of who was it? I don't remember exactly. Maybe it had something to do with Patrick Westphal, and they didn't want to question Anna Williams about Patrick Westphal, but Brad Holder was saying in his I don't know if it was I think it was a deposition. He was saying, oh, like he hadn't been around Abby originally, and then they said, oh, well, in this other interview you said that the kids had walked off to the park or something. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah. And they're like, you said you went and got him. And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, they just went off to the park, but we were there where we could watch them. And he's like, but you were at Patrick Westfall's house. And he's like, oh yeah, we went there once. It's like, wait, what the hell is up with all of the confusion and all of this where he seemed so unsure about whether he's been around her or not. And he says, we were talking as if either, in my opinion, he was either referring to Patrick Westphal or Anna Williams. They knew each other. And if you read those transcripts further into it, to me, it implies like that, because he says the two kids wanted to be alone, so we let them, which to me made me think he's talking about Anna Williams, as in we, like my son, her daughter. And he's like, but we kept an eye on them, is what he said. And they walked to the park. And he said that was two different times. And he said, like, one time that he had took Abby and his son to Patrick Westfall's house. Like, why haven't we heard of that stuff? And then they didn't want to, do you remember? They didn't want to ask Anna Williams certain questions on the stand. And do you remember Baldwin saying he would refer to her deposition? Like, why?
Because these defense attorneys were in pussies. They didn't,
Yeah.
like, I know for certain a phrase that was repeated to me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go after the family, it's career suicide.
Yeah, they were very cautious about that. I mean, I get it. But
which means you don't question them on all of their contradictions, anomalies, changing of stories and timelines.
There is a difference in just asking questions and going after them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of avenues that they didn't go down that I think that they should have. And I've wondered why. Because when you read the depositions about Brad Holder, I can't remember if it was with Patrick Westphal too. I'd have to go. I've read and looked at so much stuff, but they even in the depositions of the people who, the officers who interviewed them, there's a ton of stuff that they just bypass. Okay, they're talking with them and they're asking this officer, oh, so you called him in for an interview? And he's like, oh yeah, just to ask about Odinism, not about the murder. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in any investigation. It would be like, imagine the police calling in somebody to do an interview about Odinism, but it's not to do with this crime though. That's crazy. To me, I don't want to say somebody is some sort of, I don't know, informant or something, but I mean, it seems plausible. Because they're like, did you record it? No. Did you take notes? No. Oh, we were just talking about Odinism. Why? Oh, well, because the murders, but not to do with the murders. It doesn't make sense. And
nothing's made excuse me, nothing's made sense.
Right.
This whole oh, we just lost everything, and don't worry about it though, it was important. Nothing to see here.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like them saying, "Oh, we tried to get somebody to fix, I don't know, the DVR thing. Something about it was bought from China." I recently read somewhere, I can't confirm this right off, but I recently read somewhere, maybe it was somebody that commented, saying that they couldn't purchase their DVR type stuff or whatever from just like out of the country. That wasn't it doesn't work that way. I'm not very knowledgeable on that aspect of it, but I do know that that kind of stuff, actually, that's something I need to get, like the manual and stuff on those DVRs, because I know I did go get the manuals, like the I don't know what you call it, but the where you can, it's like the user manual for, what is it? The they use, I believe it was eye evidence and one other one or something like that. But there's not, that stuff can't just come up missing. It doesn't just keep recording. It doesn't auto erase. There's so many fail safes that are in place with the DVR thing, with the online storage. There's external storage. And if you go back to, when was it? It was just before the murders, like November, December, for that, like where the town meeting or whatever it's called, like cut off for funding. Not long before the murders, they had requested funding for a new DVR. So this was an ongoing problem. So the way I look at it, that this stuff supposedly deleted or whatever, then I mean, to me, that should be a huge issue,
Well,
and
remember, it's like, what bothers me is this marathon footage too. Like, so
hmm
let's say you have a hard drive, right? You have a hard drive that spins, the older ones from the 90s, 2000, and that thing
I didn't know that's how it
fails.
worked, but okay.
Okay, your old hard drive fails.
hmm
So you can just say, "Oh, it failed. Sorry. We can't, it's ruined. Oh, whoops." But you can
hmm
also bring that hard drive to a professional service
hmm
that will go in there, meticulously remove the spinning disk, go
Oh,
place it in a
yeah.
new device,
hmm
properly set it up, and they can go in and salvage the data on that ruined hard drive. It might not be 100%, it could be 90%, could be 80%, could be 30%, but it's possible to go and salvage damaged recorders.
When
When
you're
we were
saying,
growing up, I used to run a radio station when I
hmm
was younger. We were still using reel to reel tapes at the time, both to record and to play and all this shit.
nice.
You can go in there and you can salvage tape that's been broken. So, like, if it's on fucking tape, you
hmm
can get the tape, and yes, you might lose a little something, but you're not going to lose the entire reel of tape because you have a 1 minute, twist up in the machine, or the tape snaps or something happens.
hmm
So no matter what the medium, not a total loss. There's always avenues to salvage and restore and repair the data. So tell me how in the fucking world the feds lose the marathon footage from the recording system. It's just, I will never be convinced it's even possible
Have we?
unless there's zero trying or it's a lie.
Yeah, there have has there been anything, I guess, released to say confirming that, or are we just hearing that from law enforcement, like Carroll County or Indiana State Police? Like,
Well,
how
the
did we
way I
know about
recall it, because it's so hard to recall, it was said that the FBI destroyed it or whatever it is, or lost it. And I recall the FBI saying, "Nuh-uh,
it? Right.
wasn't us. We didn't." I don't know if anyone in the chat who's familiar with that story knows that every single detail, but I just know the story doesn't make sense. Either way it goes, that's something you don't lose. I'm sorry,
Well,
you don't, whether it's tape, whether it's a spinning hard drive, whatever medium it is, you don't lose that.
well, Okay, so yeah, with the FBI, unless the FBI has confirmed, like, we lost this or we did whatever, I don't know that I believe that. I don't believe anything could that may come from Carroll County, Indiana State Police. They already lied on the FBI once. They tried. Many people forget they tried to blame this whole lost tip thing on them, but the FBI came out then, like with a quickness. They came out and said, "No, we didn't lose shit," So, um, and that they had done everything properly. And but speaking on the hard drive that you mentioned, I had a question on that one. The old hard drives, were those did they have like lots and lots of disk in there that somehow they saved stuff on years ago, maybe? Is that what you're talking about? Like the old hard drives, like they have lots and lots of disk in there that have to be stacked up right, like in certain order. Like you don't take them out, but it's like they're in there permanently unless you need to have a tech or something work on it. Is that how they
And
work?
yeah, well, there are different ones, but some do that. And
Okay.
there are whole professions. Like I remember, 10, 15 years ago, it was a big business. There were whole shops. That's what they did. Like
Yeah, if that's the
there's,
case, they can fix them. Sometimes, yeah.
yeah, I want to say it's data retrieval. It used to be called or something where, you drop your hard drive, it's likely to fucking break,
Hmm.
and it may have sustained a slight bit of damage with the some sort of physical contact with the recording head or something, but then
Hmm.
it's fixable. Like you might lose, I don't know, some bits, but you're not going to lose the entire thing. So that whole thing really fucking bothers me. It
Yeah.
has to be something
Hmm.
important,
Right.
you
And
know.
that goes along with everything else in this case that so many people, not the people like necessarily that are watching or the people in like the Rick Allen, support community, but like the general public, that they just accept the things that we're told happen that are unacceptable in investigations,
Hmm.
especially
Everything.
murder crimes, and especially in like a murder case. Like these things are not acceptable. And I don't know how the hell we have Holman and them up on the stage at CrimeCon getting awarded awards when I mean, the things that happened in this case are unacceptable.
One thing they're good at is patting themselves on the back. Like
Well, yeah, I think they
it's the
do
one
that.
thing they do well.
That is damn sure what they do. Because, and I think that's what they do. It's like if we just act like none of this ever happened long enough, it's almost like it didn't happen.
Hmm.
And that's what they do.
That's what
It,
they've been hoping for, I think.
yeah.
That was the Barry job. It's like we get this
Hmm.
conviction, everyone shuts up, it all goes away, everything gets back to normal, problem solved, disaster averted.
Right.
Oh, Lisa.
It's, hold on, let me see what you're looking at.
Lisa says they're also good at fundraising
Yeah.
and money laundering.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
for sure. Well, it's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of folks that are damn good at fundraising.
Lisa
Um,
got a laugh out of me.
well,
Hold
I
on,
don't know if
Lisa,
that makes
wait.
people
You
good because
deserve it. You
they got
deserve
shut
one of
down,
my
right?
sounds. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
Thank you, Lisa.
I I just saw ACB's comment. Uh-oh, what I
They're good
miss?
at arson too, says Tammy.
Oh my God, that is true.
Ooh,
The
that's
amount of
rich.
arsons.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh at that.
It is sad, but it's true. I mean, you can still find humor in awful situations, and it is true. And something is really off with Indiana and doing things like that. Honestly, um, that's really scary. But I was trying to look at
Sorry,
something.
it's finally chocolate time. Prof's chocolate time. It's coming out, y'all. It's coming out.
Hmm.
So forgive the chewing sounds. Yeah, it's chocolate time.
And I don't know. It's it's Halloween. It's getting time for candy. Eat all the kids' candy. Um,
Mm.
I'm just looking through some of these comments. I was a little bit behind. I hadn't been reading them. Yeah, there's you guys are making really good points. Well, Jake, I just saw your comment about like this grainy figure. If you look at if you pause this supposed BG video and you look around BG, there's like this blurry, like little halo like thing around his body. And then if you look toward the back end of the bridge, there's like this blurry, same shape back there. And Prof, I don't know if you had saw my comment earlier that where I had put in there about where I'm recently requested the exhibits. And I have done that. I've requested 200, 207, and 246. And I noticed in the transcripts that 246 says it's the BG video, but it says it's zoomed in.
Mm.
And I'm wondering, is that the one that's been released? Like, what is it? Who else would you need to zoom in on other than the man on the bridge? And the one that's been put out, I'm wondering if that ain't it but I don't know. But I'm still waiting. But I have put in that request for those actual exhibits. Oh, I wanted to ask too, Prof. Do you know what were the specifics, or was there an order or whatever about needing to send a thumb drive? Whatever happened to that? Like, do you remember that where it was like everybody
Yeah,
was
whatever
supposed to
happened to
send?
that? Whatever
Yeah.
happened where we go from extorting the public for
Mm-hmm.
$25 each, no
Yeah.
promises on what's on the drives, but then you're
Yeah.
emailing people shit?
Right. So whatever happened with that, and
Is that
like,
over now?
because tons of people supposedly got these thumb drives, and
Supposedly.
they all had the same things on them basically. But when did they stop doing that? Because I haven't heard of anything else about anybody saying that they've sent a money order or whatever that they've received anymore. But then you're hearing about stuff being pumped out without
That's
no.
because the mean girls have been leaking. Let's be real here.
Well, I guess so. And I don't know. I'm just curious. I guess was there an order for that $25? It seems like I remember there being one, and I'm wondering when that just stopped. I don't know if anybody else
Maybe it hasn't. I don't know.
right? Well, if so, is there favoritism? I don't know what a um I mean, I don't know when it stopped or what was supposed to go on, because they were supposed to be these gigantic thumb drives. I wouldn't want a thumb drive from that place. I would be too
Yeah,
afraid to
you don't
put
know what kind of malware is on there. Like
right.
have a little hacking shit. It's gonna download into your
Yeah, they can do that
yeah.
too. I don't know about them, and I'm not saying they can or will, but I mean, it's a possibility. Um, I would be afraid to put anything that came from that place um, into my computer, because if you don't know, I mean, if you don't know stuff about IT or whatever it's called, then you're not even going to know what to look for to know if it's there. It would be hidden, and they can. What was it? I don't know if you remember. There's a guy. He seems like a kind of young guy. He's real skinny, real thin, but he's like a hacker, and he hacks and like helps law enforcement or does something to catch like child predators. But he talks about the different kind of devices and stuff that you can use, and he's even talked about literal phone chargers. Your little wall piece, their little wall plug. He's like that right there. If you know you it's I forget how much he said it cost, but you can purchase those, and those will basically transmit everything like that your phone does through that thing. I was like, holy cow. So he's like, be cautious even using other people's stuff. He's like, it's expensive, but I mean, so it would be so easy to do something with these thumb drives, especially with all of the I don't even know what you call it, like IT people, all of these cyber whatever. I don't even know the names of this stuff, but the people that are all involved in this case, they could easily do that kind of stuff, and it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder.
Well, I know this. Somebody, quote unquote, hacked Nicholas McClelland's email and sent out emails to a suspicious small group of individuals, but I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's unknown here. It's like it's never happened.
Yeah, that was something that happened, and I find it real interesting. It's always the same group of people who are saving the day or finding out information. I don't know if people remember that, but like you said, yeah, I do remember that happening where supposedly some phishing emails were sent out. And like, I guess it was supposedly to defense friendly creators. And looking back now, it seems really, really interesting that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like I said, I don't like repeating stuff, but people tend to ignore or forget the fact that the one and only time I went to Delphi, I was hacked a couple days
Right.
before, and I was then stalked at High Bridge with a drone.
Yeah,
And
I've heard
people
of
seem
people
to
saying
just like,
that.
oh, really, Prof? Okay, cool, totally normal.
Yeah, the people that do stuff like that, they count on you looking and sounding like you're crazy. It's like, because most people would think like, nobody's hacked your phone, but it's possible. It is possible, and
Well,
you're
mine
not
was my
crazy.
email. They hacked my email, and somehow hacking my email, they got a beat on my location,
Yeah.
be able to
Hmm.
know when and where I was.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's very troubling about um, more and more that's kind of come out about the people who have experience in that kind of stuff that we didn't know had experience in that kind of stuff, like the public. Um, it's also the people right at the center of everything that's happened in this case
Mm-hmm.
that's questionable, or even outside of the case. Technically, it's always the same group of people, and I'm surprised that people haven't. They just sort of disregard that, and that's very weird to me. But um, I don't know. I can't make sense of a lot of it either. Um, let's see.
You have a Zaddy question. I
Oh, do I? Where? I must be behind. I think I'm
don't
behind.
know, Zaddy. You want us to
Oh,
wildly
there it is.
speculate? Who knows, bro? Who
Oh, yeah.
knows?
I
Who knows, Zaddy? I mean, I think it's Wilson's Bridge over at the cave, quote unquote, culvert.
Yeah. Oh, is that what's over there? I'm not real familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, I just saw something like
There's a
um
bunch of shit coming through. You guys are chat is super awesome tonight. Thank you guys for being so awesome.
yeah, everybody's always so nice.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll be
I
getting out of
always
here soon though. I'm burning out, Christina.
Yeah, it's I know it is getting late. I didn't know it was this late. Yeah, I'll get off here so you can get going. You've been doing your thing for a long time. And yeah, thanks for everybody for being nice. And um and I'll get going. So, but thanks everybody, and then I'll join back in chat. Thanks for letting me come
Oh,
on.
sorry to
I
run you
appreciate it.
off. It
No,
was
it's
nice to
late.
chat real quick, and we'll do it again.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the chocolate hitting me the sugar, but I'm suddenly like, oh, kind of,
you're good. It's getting late.
I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well, I
God
will.
bless you and thank you, Christina.
Yeah,
I know everyone loves hearing from you, so come back.
everybody's been nice. Well, thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. I'll see you in the comments. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Prof.
All right. Bye, Christina.
Bye.
Awesome, Christina here tonight. Okay. Well, wow, that was fun, guys. I'm suddenly, I'm sorry, it's must be the sugar. I'm getting my eyes watering and stuff. I suddenly want to go to sleep. So I'm going to get this bright light off my face. But yo, Christina was awesome. The chat was awesome. We talked about some good things. I didn't even intend to do much but an hour and a half and just say hi to everybody. So that turned out better than I thought. 3.5 hours almost. So I think we got a good show in. Like I said, tomorrow night I'm taking off, but I'll see y'all Thursday on Twitch. So if you notice at the top of the chat, I've pinned the Twitch channel that you can go over there and follow me and sign up so we can find you Thursday night and you can find us. Yeah, lots of good theories. Like I said, there's so many places. But here's, I mean, my ultimate takeaway, y'all. My ultimate takeaway with that entire area, remember Noe and I had this triangle theory? I actually have a show or two about it where I delineated a perimeter. And I want to say it's about a 2-mile perimeter. I don't know. But the basic theory being that everything happened in this small area. And I don't know if I still have this loaded backstage. Let me see if I can find it. I want to show you something just to reiterate the small area. Let's see. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Oh, God. I'm not even searching the right thing. Let's see. I'm finding it. Just please be patient. Looking from a little illustration here. Thousands of files in here. Oh, this is it. Hey, baby. Okay. See the triangle there? So on your side closest to me, there's Riley Park. At the top, there's Anderson's. And at the right is Wilson Bridge. Okay, so this is Deer Creek. In the absolute center, you've got High Bridge Cemetery. And like I said, at the top of the triangle, Anderson's. The left side, Riley Park. The right side, Wilson Bridge. So the theory being that everything happened within this zone here. Okay. So I can't tell you, regarding let me pull that back. Let me find it. Because we're all just spitballing here, right? But as far as Zaddy's question, let me try to look for it again. Zaddy. So were the girls stashed in Mears' barn, Weber's garage, Ron Logan's house? Let's add Ron Logan's barn. Let's add the Wilson's culvert. Let's add the Mears butcher shop. Let's add the old CPS building. All of that shit is within this triangle. But here's for sure. Those girls were somewhere, and I truly believe within this area, overnight, hidden away, brought in to Ron Logan's backside of his property to be discovered at sunrise. So you just think of how many places there were. That's full of places to hide those girls, because one place we know they're not is at the crime scene, quote unquote, where their bodies are later discovered. They're not there overnight, but they are there in the morning. Anyway, shout out to Master Trooper Joe and Noe Amos and myself for kind of determining that it has to have been within this small area. Okay. Anyway, Zaddy, thanks for making me recall that, and hopefully gives people some more things to think about. I don't think they left that area. I guess that would be the bottom line. I don't think they left that triangle. So yo, we're out of here. All right, we're out of here. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a nice, what is it, Tuesday? It's been a nice Tuesday night. Good to see everybody. Special shout out to Christina for coming on, to Jake Brooks, ACV, Zaddy, Sweet Dude Shibby, Big JD. Dieter was up in here causing a ruckus. Rebecca Ann, Tammy Martin, Shay Watson, shout out for your good input. Pertinent, Kit Kat, Dirty Diana, who else was here? Hebby, Digital, Nancy Drew, Pie Crust, Lisa for the laughs. Thank you, Lisa. Nicole Watt was here earlier. Granny D's here. Heavy Metal Rehab. Everybody else who was here super early. Appreciate you being here. David Rogers. Hello, sir. Oh, yeah, Gretchen. There you go. Gretchen's here. LB. Hey, LB. So all of you awesome folks, and anyone I missed, I didn't mean it. Special shout out to my lovely super chatters, which tonight included Rotting Jules. Shout out Rotting Jules. Your new Zaddy. Shout out Zaddy. Mark Ellis. Shout out Mark Ellis. Jake Brooks. Shout out Jake Brooks. BGPO. Shout out. And It's a New Day. My friend, I miss you. What's up? It's a new day, and thank you. And Pink Quartz, there you go. Pink Quartz is here. Kit Kat. Everyone, really appreciate it. We'll see you Thursday on Twitch and back here on Friday night here on YouTube. If you're on the replay, be a gentleman or a lady and leave a comment in the comment section. We appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up. All right. So with that being said, let me see if I'm going to do my little fancy thing. Can I do this? All right. We're done. God bless everyone. I love you all. We'll see you later, okay? Hide your kids. Hide your wife. That's for sure. All right? We're having all our fancy celebrations here. Let's see. All right. Good to see everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Well, Obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're raping everybody out here.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Bruh. Oh my God! I'm legally blind.
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
Oh my God! Bruh.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
I'm legally blind.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm legally blind.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
Bruh. I'm legally blind.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Oh my God!
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
Oh my God!
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Bruh.
Thank you.